Okay, this video is to hopefully help you do the loopy stitch for the top of the head of my llama snuggly. So to begin, we will chain 2. Then in the first chain of those 2, we're going to single crochet 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And for the loopy stitches, we are going to join and chain 1. So join and chain 1. The seam will not show because of the loopy stitches. And we need to end with a join before we switch stitches. So join and chain 1. Now we're going to begin the loopy stitches in row 2. We're going to put 2 loopies in each single crochet around. So it'll be 12 altogether. Now to make a loop stitch, go through like a normal single crochet and grab, but then loop it around your finger, grab it again, going underneath your yarn, back up through the stitch from the previous row, then wrap and pull through, just like a single crochet. And if I wrap funny compared to you, ignore that. I'm self-taught, and some people have told me I do it funny. Then we're going to do a second one in the same stitch. So go through that stitch again, grab, loop it, grab it again, staying behind, pull it through, finish the stitch. So we now have 2 loopies in the first single crochet. Now we're going to do it again, do 2 in this one. And it will get easier. It's very awkward at first, but the more you do it, the easier it will get. So that's 2 more in there. We're going to do 2 more in this one. I'd say the biggest thing is to keep your loops kind of consistent around your finger. Don't let it get big and floppy loose, and to make sure you go underneath when you're pulling it, that second one. Uh-oh, see, I goofed. All right, let's try it again. Underneath and through, and finish the stitch. So now we have starting to get a nice little row of loops. 2 more in this stitch. Two more. Two more. Get snagged up. Okay, 2 more. Okay, that should give us 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yep. Okay, so now we will join. Oh, cut something. Join and chain 1. My yarn is getting a little fuzzy because I've used this same yarn for a couple different demonstrations. I think it's about time to retire it. Okay, so now we'll go to the third row, which is the second row of loops. And for the third row, we are going to do another increase of 2 each stitch around. So we had 12 stitches in the last row. This one will have 24. So once again, going in each stitch 2 times for 2 loops per stitch. So 1, oops, missed it, 2, 1, 2. Now, as you can see, the loops are on the bottom. And as you do each row, it's going to get fuller and fuller, and it'll look really nice. But because they're on the bottom, when we finish the last row of loopies and do our join chain 1, then we will flip the entire piece and then work the single crochets going the opposite direction and making this the front. So what is the back now will become the front. So we have 2 and 2, so let's do 2 more. Oops, I didn't catch the whole yarn. 1 and 2. Okay, so continue putting 2 in each one around, and I will meet you at the other side. Okay, so I'm down to the last stitch of this row, so I'll do the 2, 1, Okay, so now we will join. Let me count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Yep, 24. So we will join and chain 1. So that is now 1, 2, 3 rows. So now for row 4, there's no increase. Oh, something. We are just going to do 1 loop around for 24 stitches. So my first one got all tight here. Grab, oops, lost my train of thought. Grab, loop, go under, finish. So now just 1 in each stitch around. And go all the way around. And I will meet you on the other side. Okay, I've done 23 stitches, so here is number 24. And then we will join to the beginning and chain 1. And now you can really see that it's starting to look like a nice, and we'll cut that one off. Well, I'll cut it off now. Just cut it off shorter than the loops. Oh, my scissors didn't want to work. There. But it's starting to look like the top of a llama head. Okay, so now we finished the 24 loops around. So now we're going to round 5. And in this one, we're going to be increasing again. In this one, we're going to increase 1, or we're going to do 1 loop, then 2. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So we're going to go from 24 stitches around to 36 stitches around. So in the first one, we will do 1. Then the second one, we will do 2. 1, 2. And that's what we will do all the way around. 1 and then 2. So this one we do 1. Whoopsie, I got caught in a loop. You will get also better at holding the loops out of your way as you go. I'm fumbling a bit. 1. And 2. Oh, I think I went out of camera. 1 and 2. So you just continue the 1, 2, 1, 2 all the way around, and I will meet you on the other side. Okay, I'm to the last set of 3 or 2 stitches or 3 loopies. So we'll do the 1 there, and then 2 in this one. Well, not cooperating. Okay, so that finishes off that row. We join and chain 1. So it's starting to look like the top of a llama. So now once again, we're going to not expand on this one. We're just going to do 36 loop stitches around. So you'll start off with just going 1, 1, 1, okay, continue all 36 around, and I will meet you on the other side. Okay, I'm at 35 stitches, so now we will do stitch number 36. Now we will join to the beginning, chain 1. So now we have our 36 around. Our next one is going to be an increase again. And this time we're going to do a single loop, then 2 loops. Single, single, 2, single, single, 2, single, single, 2 around for our increase. So we'll be going from 36 to 48. So into the first one, we do 1 loop, And into the second one, we do 1 loop. But into the third one, we will do 2 loops. So there's our first loop. Then into the same stitch, we will do a second loop. So that is our pattern around this time. 1, 1, 2. I'll do it one more time. 1. Hold the old loopies out of the way. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. 3. I count in my patterns when I'm doing my own crochet to keep track, make sure I do each one in the full set. So it's 1, 1, then 2, 1, 1, then 2. So continue around and I'll meet you on the other side. Okay, I'm on the last set of 3 stitches. And I realized something in this row that maybe might be a little easier to explain. When you go through and I say grab, you are grabbing it, but it's more to hold it out of the way. You're not like looping it over that's going to stay on the hook. It's just to help hold things where you want them, because then you're going to pull behind and let go of that one. So you still only have one on here. Oops. And then finish the stitch. It's more just a getting the yarn where you want it to move it over here, and then grab this one. That's the one that's going to stay on the hook. So you're not, even though I'm using it to wrap there, it's not actually staying on the hook, if that makes sense. You don't end up with 4 on it. You're just holding it, moving out of the way so you can pull the other one. And then you have the 3 and pull 1 through the other 2. Then join and chain 1. And that happens to be row 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, which is the last of the loopy stitches. So now we're going to flip her over, and there's our pretty little fuzzy curly llama head. So now we're going to work with this as the front, and we're going to single stitch around. And row 8 through 20 are all just single stitching around 48 stitches. So now, and if you like to, when working continuous, mark the first stitch, then mark here. If you like to mark the last stitch, then wait till you get around and mark that side. So just single crochet around, and I'll meet you on the other side. Okay, I now have 48 stitches, and it's going to start shaping the head now. And I like to mark the end, so I would mark here and then keep working continuous for the rest of my rows, 9 through 24. So hopefully from here you're good, and that I didn't confuse you too much on the loopy stitch. Good luck.